advanced and so forth. And if you just turn it into a cog in the machine. And the other thing is the politicizing of almost everything, and especially in this country, in the U.S., of Christianity, there's hardly any independent voice left. So those are two big tendencies that I notice: the politicizing of almost everything and the economizing of things. So what I've tried in my career to do is to resist that, to invite people to look at and think about art and about liturgy and about justice and so forth, and not to politicize and economize everything. We are created by God to be creatures who can arrive at understanding, who can dissolve some of the mystery and so forth. And that's what education should ultimately be about, and it should inspire awe in students at important points, and horror at other points at what human beings have done to human beings and so forth, and not just how can I hold a job.
沃特斯托夫也介绍了起初与普兰丁格等提出改革宗认识论离不开一位灵魂的伴侣李德，同时又超越李德的基础主义，让信靠顺服的信念成为真实确据。
In the center, Al Plantinga and I were beginning to work out the project of Reformed epistemology, an anti-foundationalist understanding of proper belief and so forth. I studied the history of modern philosophy, of course, but it was the practice of almost everybody to take Locke, Berkeley, Hume, and then just forget about Reid. So I never read a word of Reid before. I don't remember why I began to read Reid. But I felt after 20 pages, whatever, that this was a soulmate. And what made me feel that he was a soulmate? Reid is dealing with the epistemological questions of late 20th century analytic philosophers, dealing with beliefs, and then which beliefs constitute knowledge, which beliefs are true and what makes them true, which beliefs are rational, and so forth. He was asking an earlier question: how do we manage to get items of reality in mind well enough to have beliefs about them? And what is it that accounts for the formation of beliefs? So that's what Reid was up to.
20世纪基督徒与政治自由主义的交手，公共理性还是信仰自由？沃特斯托夫坦言，罗尔斯的立场完全不可行。
In the late 70s, as I recall, John Rawls, political philosopher at Harvard, published his Political Liberalism. Rawls's position is that religious people, everybody, when debating basic issues of politics, not where the streetlight should be located and so forth, but basic issues of politics, should appeal to what he called public reason, shared public reason, that is, the fundamental ideas incorporated in the idea of liberal democracy. The figure that we were inspired by, the intellectual figure that and religious figure that we were inspired by at Calvin College was the Dutchman Abraham Kuyper. That we each should express as cogently and carefully and responsibly as we can our view of politics that our particular worldview leads us to hold, and then discuss it together, and then finally take a vote. So this Rawlsian business of everybody finding some shared public reason just always seemed thoroughly implausible to me.
从认识论、分析哲学到政治神学，对爱和正义提出基督徒的视角，什么是它背后的驱动力
？I vividly remember flying home on that first trip, and on the way thinking, my life is falling into fragments. My life is just falling into fragments. And for a couple of years, that concerned me, until one day I was reading around in the Old Testament, and I noticed, as we all do, the word peace. I knew that this was a translation of the Hebrew shalom, so I decided to find out more.